Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Hello, and welcome to Fireside Fridays, which, as we can see, the fireside is here, and there seems to be a little glow in the thing, so it's nice and toasty, just like what we have in our mugs. It's that kind of night.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we usually like to start out with doing some shout outs to things that are going on around us in the world of art and performance. Nick, would you like to start out?
Oh, absolutely. So, as well as what we have going on here tonight and other points in the weekend, the Ringworld is doing their Gay for Detroit. That's the 2020 virtual incarnation of the gay play series. It changed a little over the years, and here it is for now. So check that out. In fact, you can actually see at least one of us in the actual movies.
Yes.
Luna is in one of them, and where is Luna actually?
I believe I heard she was gallivanting somewhere in the woods.
Oh,
Perhaps up north?
yeah, maybe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe up in the UP.
I really hope that she doesn't get
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So that brings us to what we're talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about being lost, and here we are in what could be a cabin in the woods. It looks a little like we're on VHS, which is interesting because...
Segue, look at that. Because next weekend we actually have coming up, it is our spooktacular fundraising extravaganza. We've put together a wonderful show for you with submissions from local artists from all around the area and farther.
Few people from further. Yep.
And farther.
Yep.
And it's going to be a choose your own adventure extravaganza. It's a live show that we're going to be having live from the Ringwald, actually. Shout out to Brandy Jo Planvick. Thank you so much for all of your help.
Absolute sweetheart.
You're God. We love you.
We love you.
Then that is next week live on Facebook and hopefully on our website when that goes up. It's going to be Friday and Saturday night at 8 o'clock and Sunday night at 7. And then our next thing after that, this is what we're super excited about, guys.
Oh, yes. So, talking of the woods, talking of like weird things in the woods.
Yeah.
Next, beyond the ghost light, we have Brett and Drew Pierce, the creators of The Wretched.
Oh my God, guys. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If you have not seen the movie yet, go on Hulu. It's on Hulu. The Wretched. It came out in, I believe, May of this year, and the reviews are what the reviews are. I absolutely loved it. It's doing really well on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and it from an article that I read, from what I understood, it's only behind Avatar and Titanic for most weeks at number 1 in the box office.
Yeah, it's just a monster and features a monster.
And
so, yes.
Features a monster.
I know. It's amazing.
Look at us with these segues.
Yes.
Oh.
And it features the creepy things we find in the woods, which is definitely on par with what we're going to be talking about tonight. Yes. And beautiful things that maybe not quite so beautiful when you see their true form. So Awesome. Which brings us to our stories.
Yes. All right.
Tori.
So
do you have one?
I do have one. So my story tonight, since our system tonight is lost, my story tonight is called The Lost Feet. So we begin our story with a young man, middle-aged man, normal man. We'll call him Joe. Joe works in the village, and he lives right outside of the village. Now, Joe is living his normal life by himself. He goes to work, he comes home late. Goes to work, he comes home late to his beautiful little cabin next to the woods. And so Joe decides to come home one night, and it's a beautiful night outside. and he wants to go for a walk in those woods. So he's walking down the path, he's walking down the trail, he's enjoying the ambiance, he's enjoying the crickets, he's enjoying the breeze. It's a whiff of something, but he doesn't worry about that. So he keeps walking, and then he gets a glint in his eye, and he's confused, but he walks forward and he sees something shining in the leaves. And when he goes to investigate, he finds out that it is the dead body of a woman from the village. He does not know this woman, but he knows it's a dead body, and he knows it's got to be from the village because ain't nobody living out here, right? Okay, so he's taken aback. He's aghast. He doesn't know what to do. He's looking at this dead body, and he is terrified, and he's about to run, but he can't run because his feet are stuck, and he thinks, wait, that jewelry probably cost some money. So he starts to wrestle with himself. He's wrestling with, do I do this? Do I not do this? With his very strong, or maybe not so strong, moral code. And he's like, but you know what? I'm poor. She's dead. It's all right. Right. So he decides he's going to take this jewelry because he needs it. And he goes to take these anklets off because these anklets are solid gold. He can see that from all the way across the forest. And he grabs onto this anklet and he yanks nothing. And he yanks nothing. And he's starting to get gooey, and nothing's happening. That's because this body has been laying here, and it's decrepit, and it's disintegrating, and it's bloated, and its skin is wrapping around this anklet, and he cannot get it off, and he's about to give up, and he's like, wait. He's in the woods. He's got an axe. Do I do it? He starts wrestling with his moral code again. He's like, I don't know. I'm a human. Do I? You know what? I'm poor. She's dead. Doesn't matter. So he goes and he grabs this axe and he sludges it over. He picks it up and he brings it on over to her body. And he looks at her and he thinks about it one last time. And he goes, yeah, bracelets. And he throws down that axe and he cuts those feet right on off, takes those little anklets, and he goes home. He's a little taken aback. He's a little uncomfortable, but to be honest with you, he's poor. She's dead. Who cares, right? Mm-hmm. So he goes and he takes this money and he starts living his life. A little time goes by and he's good. He's working in the village. He's coming home to his cabin. He's working. He's coming home late. He's sitting on his couch or he's taking a walk. He's working. He's coming home late. He's sitting on his couch or he's taking a walk. One night he comes home late, sits on his couch. Here's a knock at the door. Who is it? Nobody knows me. Nobody knows where I live. Nobody knows this area. So he goes and he opens the door, and standing in front of him is the most beautiful woman he has ever seen in his life. He does not know what to do with himself. He's, hi, I'm Joe. That's about all he can get out of his mouth at that point, because this woman is flabbergastingly beautiful. But she's obviously in distress. She is a damsel in distress, right? Literally. So he grabs her, he brings her into the fold, he brings her into his living room, sets her down on the couch. Honey, what's going on? What's wrong? I can't. She's not making any sense. Right. She's frantic. She's crazy. She's wild. And he doesn't know what to do with her. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go and get her some water. So he's like, calm down, honey. I'm going to get you some water. We're going to calm you. We're going to figure all of this out. So he goes in the kitchen. He grabs his cup, turns on the faucet. He starts thinking, you know, I'm an old man, I'm a young man, I'm a middle-aged man, but I'm lonely, right? I'm lonely, and this woman is beautiful, and she's sitting in my living room on my couch asking me for help. Maybe I can parlay this into something, huh? Yeah, so he straightens himself up. That's a valid one, yeah. I mean, why not? That's valid, right? She needs help. I'm here to help. She'll be grateful. She'll be in debt. So he goes, he fixes his eyebrows, he's made sure he's presentable, he smells nice. He goes, grabs his cup, he walks back into the living room, and he stops. There is blood everywhere. It's on the floor, it's on the couch, it's on the walls. How did it get on the ceiling? I don't understand what is going on, but there's blood on everything. And the woman is just as distressed as she was before, but now she seems a little different. And he feels a little different because he's convinced she must be hurt, right? And did she get hurt in my house? Now how am I going to parlay this into a little something if she got hurt in my house? So he comes up to her and he's frantic now and he's asking her, he's like, ma'am, are you okay? What can I do? How can I help you? Did you hurt yourself? Where are you hurt? Where are you cut? Do I need to call the ambulance? And she looks at him And all the franticness just falls away. And she sits up and she smiles and she says, I can't find my feet. And in that moment, he realizes who this woman is. And he realizes what he has done. And he looks down and there are no feet to be seen. And he is horrified and he wants to run and he cannot run. There is something keeping him from moving. And he is terrified and he backs up and his feet are stuck. And what does he do? And he looks at her and she looks right at him, approaching slowly, calmly, and smiles and says, would you mind if I borrowed yours?
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's disgusting. I know. Honestly, I'm not sure what I would do. First of all, if I came across a dead body in the woods.
Uh-huh.
I might call the cops. I might take the jewelry. It kind of depends on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
she's dead, I'm poor. What does it matter? Who cares, right?
Clearly, no one nobody cared about the bracelets until then. It's almost like it seems like a gift.
Right, the cosmos was giving me bracelets and anklets and death.
Yeah, and allowing you the opportunity to lend your feet to someone. Well, so I have a friend.
Yes.
His name's Brian. He's back in England. Hello, Brian, if you're watching. And he likes to go. We use the term rambling, but a term people will understand better is hiking.
Okay.
He likes to hike. And he likes to hike on mountains. And as surprising as this may seem, England and the Great Britain actually has a few mountains. Not many, and they're barely more than hills, but they are mountains. And the biggest of all, I think, let's just bend nervous, but like one of the biggest is a place called Mount Snowdon in a park called Snowdonia in Wales. And that's great because Brian lives right on the border between England and Wales. It's a fairly easy journey for him to get there. You know, he starts off like midday. He'll get there like around late afternoon, early evening, and it'll be great. And he can take a walk. And so he decided to do that. And you see, the thing about Brian is he likes to think, and he likes to have some of that solitude of walking. And Snowdon is perfect for this because Snowdon has a lot of paths. A lot of them lead to the peak, but not all of them do. Some of them just sort of meander around, and then you can walk down, and you can guarantee there'll be nobody else on the path. So you have that solitude. You can think. So he picks one. He looks on a map, sees a path he's never seen before, decides, hey, that's the one I'm going to walk on. I don't think anyone's going to be on that. That'll be great. So he drives, parks, gets out of his car, and he walks. And then as the path starts to get more steep, he sort of leans down, makes sure his boots are neat and tidy and tied. And as he's looking up, he suddenly gets a slight shock because he sees just a shape in white a few hundred yards up the path. At first, he's a little bit startled. And he thinks, oh, God, ghost. Oh, no, it's just a woman. Looks like a woman. Can't really tell because just far enough away. But he's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I can't be the only one who's seen this on the path. So, you know, maybe it's some local or something. I'll say hello to them. It'll be nice. So he ties his shoes and he looks again, and there's no one there. Okay, a little strange, a little odd, but, you know, maybe she's just wandered off to do whatever wacky local thing she could have done. So he walks on, he's like, maybe I'll see her when I get closer. And he walks. And when he gets to where he saw her, there's a fallen tree trunk, you know, kind of broad enough and wide enough there. And the other thing there is the smell of mostly roses, but also a few other flowers. Like if you ever wander into a florist, like in the middle of summer, where everything is just giving off its perfume, wonderful. There's something a little underneath it that's like not quite perfect, but generally it's this really heady perfume. He's like, I don't see anyone around. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna take a walk. And he starts walking, and the path bifurcates left and right, and he walks, and the tree trunk is gone, but the scent of flowers isn't. And he follows his path around. And he walks and he goes through, and it's new and it's lovely. And really the flowers, they sort of add to it. It's nice. And then he turns a corner, and there's the tree trunk. Did I double? No, I kind of doubled back. I don't know, because like this wasn't where we were. Okay, cool. I guess I must have like doubled back. All right, fine. I'm gonna go to the left path this time, and I'll do that. And so he goes and he walks along the left path, and again, those flowers they just don't leave him, even though the tree trunk. Oh my God! There's the tree trunk again. Like what the hell? I walked. There it is. The flowers, they seem to be getting heavier, and then he looks down the path, and he sees it's someone who looks really like they copied his style, and he looks, and damn it, if there isn't a tree trunk right by them. And you know that feeling when, like, you think someone's watching you? He gets that on the back of his head. He turns around, and about the same distance up the path, there's someone else dressed, and he realizes not like him, but exactly like him. And damn it if they don't have a tree trunk by them. So he's like, okay, time for Brian to go home. So he starts walking down the path, and he notices that the person, his doppelganger, also walks down the path, and at one point turns a corner and is gone, and Brian is now at the tree trunk again. And he looks behind, nothing. Nothing down the path now, but now the fog is coming in. And Snowdonia has a big coverage of fog when it comes in. It's thick, it's all encompassing, you cannot see in front of your face. And he's looking around, he's like, oh shit, okay, this is not a good thing. This is not how I need to be. I need to get back to my car. I need to get off of the mountain, because the last thing I need to be is stuck on this mountain in the fog, completely discombobulated. And at that point, he hears a voice say, are you lost? And he flips around, and there, sitting, not in a lotus position, but kind of, in that sort of beatific sort of like pose, is a woman. And this woman is wearing this white kind of gown and a broad-brimmed white hat, and underneath it is the blackest hair, like midnight black, like all light is lost within the darkness of her hair. And her face is almost as pale as the clothes that she's wearing. She has almost no complexion. Like it's almost as if the clothes and her are one, and the only color you can see are the deep red of her lips and the icy blue of her eyes. And he can't quite place how old she is. Like, she seems to be, his age, my age. She seems to be that age. But sometimes there's something in the back of his head that seems to suggest that she's significantly older or significantly younger. She's very slippery that way. It's like she can't quite place it. And she stands up, and she's tall, and she's elegant. And she says, "Would you like my help getting off the mountain?" And there's a little voice in his head that says, "No, no, do not go with this beautiful, beautiful woman. No, don't, no." But most of that voice is drowned out by other voices from Brian that say, "Oh yeah, you totally want to. Yeah, you totally want to. Yeah, whatever she wants. You totally want to do this." And Brian's like, "No, yeah, why not? Show me the way." And she's like, "Okay, why don't you come with me? Follow me." That's right. And she walks just ahead of him, just enough that the fog swirls around her, but not enough that the fog hides her. And Brian's very happy about this because, like I said, she's beautiful. And that little voice, that caution thing, is getting quieter and quieter as he follows her. And as she walks and he follows, the fog begins to fill in behind him, but thin out until they get down and the path is flatter. And then he sees his car. And she turns and she smiles in a way that makes him feel all sorts of ways. And she says, "I'm glad I could be of her assistance. I live around here. Maybe some other time you'll come back to the mountain and we might bump into one another." And Brian's like, "Ah." Yeah. "Oh, I really don't want to leave." But the other voice has now got louder and saying, "No, you want to leave. You need to leave now." And Brian said, "Okay, thank you. This was lovely. I have to go. It was a wonderful thing. Yeah, I'll maybe come back sometime, and then maybe we'll run into one another. Who knows? And he makes it, and then he starts walking away, and she's like, "Well, goodbye." And he gets to his car, and he looks back, because of course he looks back. Because he wants to have another look at her. And she's waving. But is she waving, or she's doing something with her hands that I guess you could interpret as waving? And so Brian is like, "Bye now." And he starts his car. And he just slowly pulls out, and he wants to have a look. So he looks in the rearview mirror. And, she was clear as day. But now the fog has just enveloped her, or she's faded into it, or whatever happened, she can't see. She can't be seen at all. And he drives home and he just thinks about it. And I was talking to him the other day, and I said, "So have you been back to Snowdon since this?" And he was like, "No, I don't think that would be a good idea. I have this feeling that if I go back to Snowdon, that's the last trip I'll ever make. But I don't know that I'm never going back to Snowdon.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, okay. So thank you guys so much for joining us for Fireside Fridays for the last couple of weeks. We've had a really good time doing this. You may not know, whether you know or not, you may not know, but we each choose our individual stories ahead of time, and we talk about it just to make sure like we didn't choose the same story or something. Yeah. And it just so happens that every time we've done this, we each choose our own story, and they always have we have a theme, but they always have something else that interconnects them. Yes. That we didn't plan on. Right. So it just so happens that we just all happen to be on the same page. And I love how both of our stories, we chose them at completely separate times. They both have to deal with the fact that you don't cross nor trust a beautiful woman.
That you find in the woods.
Do not trust woods women, and fog is scary. So if you're going to learn a lesson from us today on our Fireside Fridays, don't trust woods women.
Yes.
Just don't.
Women in the woods. They're beautiful. They're
So thank you again, guys, for joining us. I see Bridget is out there. Whoever else is out there that I can't see, I'm sorry, but I love you guys too. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, we top this month of Fireside Fridays out with next weekend, the Halloween Spooktacular.
Be kind, rewind, blood moon.
Yes, it's awesome. It's wonderful for my 90s babies. It's going to feel like nostalgia. You get to pick actual VHS tapes. You choose which one we play, and then we play it, and then you watch it on screen, and it's cool, and you're going to love it because we love it.
Yep.
And then
it's just going to be a wonderful thing. It will be 3 nights. You get to choose wonderful stories.
Yes. And then don't forget, the week after, November 8th, Sunday night, Beyond the Ghostlight, 6 p.m., the Pierce brothers, the creators of the movie The Wretched. We got those guys on our show.
We are so stoked for this.
Yo!
We are so happy. We are so looking forward to this.
If you have not seen the movie, Hulu, check it out on Hulu. It's The Wretched on Hulu. It is an incredible movie. And for those of you who are horror buffs and you really love your traditional kind of horror, it is for you. It is 90% practicals. There's hardly any CGI at all. So it's the effects are the goopy stuff. Somebody really had to make something goopy and make it happen. Yeah. It's so really cool.
The visuals are great. The audio is superb. There's some noises in this movie that you just have to hear to believe.
It's a masterful work of art.
Astounding.
It's a masterful work of art, and it's wonderful as a horror fan and as a horror lover to watch something in 2020 that can hold its own to the old school 80s horror that makes you that you still squirm when you watch kind of stuff. So thank you guys again. Check that out. Joey Brown. Hey, yes, we do. We got the fire back, man.
Yes.
We got the fire.
And Joey, we are so looking forward to people hearing the story you told, because this is going to be so great.
So yes, thank you for your submissions. Thank you for your stories. Thank you for your time. And enjoy the rest of this spooky night.
Yeah, it is the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, the weather has turned. Let all the dark sprites and spirits run free. Okay.
All right, you guys. You take care, and I guess I'll take the shut off this time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you got it.
Bye, guys.